inside the app itself. And what is the use of app? You can basically share the app with a particular user, a manager, and in the Salesforce platform. Plus, you can provide the access to the app as well. Like somebody can view only the app, somebody can have the access of view only, somebody can access within edit mode, and somebody could be a manager. So these are the different variety of things you can do with an app. Second one is a dashboard. Dashboard is nothing but a beautiful charts plus the dynamic charts that you could see in the dashboard. So it's nothing but a single chart, but there are multiple charts that would be available in one page, and it will also provide the dynamic filtering plus the binding and all these things. And I'm going to explain in this webinar that how to create the dashboard and how to work on it. The third one is the dataset. Dataset is basically the backbone of the analytics platform, which is something that we cannot do anything without a dataset. We have to create a dataset first. Dataset means nothing but the set of data. So we have to create the dataset first inside the Einstein Analytics platform. Then only we can create the lenses and dashboards out of it. So that's why I call it as backbone. The lenses means once we have the data set, then we have to query it, right? Then we can perform some query operation and we can filter out some data and we can showcase the data inside one chart, and that's what we call it as lens. And the data flow. Let's say you have already created a data set in the Einstein Analytics platform, but you want this data set to be in sync with your Salesforce. Then what you will be going to do? You will be going to schedule it, and you will be going to refresh it. So in this webinar also, I'm going to tell you that how to schedule the dashboard, how to refresh a particular data set, plus how can we refresh the different data sets as well. So, and what could be the frequency of the scheduling. I'm going to tell all about these things. So this is one more recap that why do we need to go for the Einstein Analytics platform. So here I have given the basic differentiations or difference between the Salesforce reports, what all functionalities we have in the Salesforce reports, and what all functionalities we have in the Einstein Analytics platform. So you could see that there are various things. The one major thing is that the Einstein Analytics platform does support the faceting, but the reports doesn't support. We do have data in both of these things. Both of these platform gives you the collaboration and sharing. But if we talk about the third one, mobile experience, it only Einstein Analytics provides. So in the Einstein Analytics, you can render the same dashboard in your mobile platform plus in your iPad platform as well. When we talk about the historical trending, we don't have such facility in the reports, but we do have the same in the Einstein Analytics platform. They provide the trending dashboard so that you can create the trend out of it. The faceting, the filtering. Faceting means you can filter based on the selection. The exploration, which means you can do the drill down. If you click on any one of the bar, you will see the drill down feature right there itself. Plus, the Einstein Analytics can be connected to a third party as well. Third party means either what you can do, you can basically various others, various platforms like the Boomi and the Informatica. They do have the Einstein Analytics connector. So with the help of those tools, you can directly put the data inside the Einstein Analytics platform. They, we do have the APIs for the Einstein Analytics as well. So if you don't want to use any one of these tools, you can go with the custom coding as well, and you can put data inside it easily. It also works with the greater than 3 cross objects, which Salesforce report doesn't support. Plus, there's one more thing, the trust and security. And as we all know that Salesforce is all about trust and the security one. So you could get the security features both in the reports and the analytics as well. So now let's jump into the live demonstration that how we can normally create the data sets. So this is one of my org. I have already logged in to one of my Salesforce instance in which the Einstein Analytics is already enabled. For my user, the permission set has already been assigned, and I am now a system admin, and I can easily access the Einstein Analytics platform. Just to access the platform, if you have purchased that platform, once you click on this one, you would be going to see an Einstein Analytics Studio app. Once you click on it, you will be directly to the analytics platform. So this is how the platform will look like. These are the different features, like you can see the apps over here. You can, whatever apps you have, you can see the dashboards, you could see the lenses, and you can see data sets. I do have created some sort of data sets here plus the lenses here, so don't worry about that. We'll be going to learn that how can we create all these things from the scratch itself, right? So first of all, create a data set. So I'm going to click on this button and I'm going to click on this data set. There are two ways we can create data set, from one from the CSV file and another from the Salesforce. So let's go ahead first with the Salesforce one, and this time we have to pass on the data set name. So I am going to pass with a name like opportunities with account and users. Now it is a selection to select a data flow. So let's choose the default data flow only. I'm going to explain what is default data flow and how can you work on it. I'm clicking on next. Okay, as soon as I click on next, it says it gives me that, okay, now select your base object, select the fields, and start preparing your data set. So first of all, it says that pick a Salesforce object to start. So you have to be clear about it, that what is your base data set. As of now, what I'm doing, I'm going to select opportunity is the standard opportunity object is my base data set. Okay, so you could see a root is coming here, which means opportunity is my root data set. Now I have to add a fields. So as soon as I click on this plus one, I got this particular pop-up in which I can select the fields. Field selection means how many fields do I want for the opportunity object. So let's select few of them, the major ones. We have the stage, probability, and all these things. You can select n number of fields. There is no particular limit over here. Whatever you want to do, quantity, one, closed. Yeah, we do have that. Okay, so we have already selected few of the fields. Now let's go and let's click on this relationship tab. In this relationship tab, you could see that how many different objects that can be related to the opportunity, right? So what we are going to do, as of now we are going to create a join with this opportunity object with an account one. So as soon as I click on this one, you could see an account one is appearing here, and again I will do the same thing. And for the account object, I'm going to select few of the fields over here, and so that these fields would also be a part of my dataset. You can do custom search here as well, and all these things. Billing history, claim status, and whatever fields you want. Okay. So we do have opportunity, we do have account, and opportunities related to account. There's one more thing that we are going to do here, that I want the opportunity owner information as well. So I'm going to click on this plus one more time. So this plus is for the opportunity plus. I'm going to click one more time, and I will go to the relationship tab, and I'm going to select this one, owner ID, which means I'm creating a join between opportunity and user as well. And for this particular user, again I have to select few of the fields. So I'm selecting these fields, all the name ones, first name, last name, Let's take email fields, email one. We do have phone. Let's take phone as well. Yeah. So these ones. So now you could see a schema kind of structure that we have already built in. We have the base object as opportunity, and these account and user is connected with the opportunity. You can create one. You can associate few more objects with these. If you want to associate any object with the account, you can do the same. But as of now, let's keep it simple and let's make it next. Once I click on next, once I click, we have it is asking for select an app, right? So you can select it with a shared app. You can select any my private app. You can select any other app as well, right? So I'm going to select an app that we have already created, my DTC sales. Let's select this one. Okay. Now there's one more thing. Once I click on this create data set, what will happen? The structure you will be in the background. You will be you will be going to see the structure. Plus, the data flow will start, and it will start fetching the data from the Salesforce itself, right? That will ultimately take some few minutes, 4-5 minutes or 3-4 minutes, based on the data you have in the Salesforce, and we cannot basically wait for that till that time. So I'm going to cancel this one, and I'm going to showcase that once you have created a data set and once everything is in place, how will it look like? So something in the data set itself, you could see the data, opportunities with accounts and users. So once the data set is created, it is refreshed. Uh, Somehow you will see in the home page, you will see under the data set, you could see the opportunities with accounts and users. Again, I'm going to explain you one more time that how will you refresh the data set, plus how will you refresh the data flow. That will come, I will come again on that. Okay, so this is one of the data sets that we have created. Let's talk. There's one more thing, one more way we can create a data set. Initially, I talked about the Salesforce. Let's talk about the CSV file. So if you have some data in your external system, and if you want to load that data inside the Einstein Analytics platform, you can use this feature. So you can go with the CSV file, click on continue. Now it says that select a file or drag it here. So let me select a file. I already have this file in place, SIC descriptions. Let's open it and click on next. Again, it is asking which app do I need to select. I'm going to select the same app because my previous data set was in the same app. Let's create and click on next. As soon as you click on next, whatever the columns we have in the CSV file, it basically displays here. You could see there were 3 columns in the CSV file, and you could see those 3 columns over here as well. Now, the first one, I have selected this particular column, and if you see at the right side, it tells you something about the attributes of this particular field. So by default, the Salesforce Einstein treated this particular column as a measure. Measure is nothing but a quantifiable figure. You can, so whatever you want to showcase in the dashboard, like the opportunity amount, the percentage values, the trending, all these things are considered as an attribute measure. And the grouping feature, let's say if you want to create a dashboard for the opportunity timeline, which means you want to see the opportunity which is actually changing time over time, means month over month. So you want to create, so in that case you have to select that particular field as a dimension. Here it is taking the SIC code is taking as measure, so I don't want to take it as measure. By default it is measure just because it is an integer value, but let's take it as dimension because I'm going to merge with this field only. The second one is the description, which is automatically dimension. It is a text one, so it will be a dimension, no problem. The third one is the date field. It also automatically, the Einstein Analytics platform detects it as DDMMYY, which I think is correct, no problem at all. If you want to change it, you can change it right here down here. We have different sort of options available here, but let's keep with this one only. Okay, so now as soon as I upload the file, again the analytics platform will take some time, and it will start loading the data inside the analytics platform into a different data set. The data set name is SIC description. So again, based on the number of records, it will certainly take time. So let's cancel out this one. And once you have loaded the CSV file inside the Salesforce Analytics platform, you could see again that in the form of dataset as well. So we had loaded one of the dataset from the Salesforce and one of the dataset from the CSV, and you could see both these two datasets here. So this is how you can create the dataset and you put the data inside the Salesforce Analytics platform. Now there's another one, the power of recipe. So recipe is nothing but, let's say, what I have done till now. I have created one of the data sets from the Salesforce and one of the data set from the external system. Let's say I want to combine both these data sets, because I want to create a single data set so that I can perform the analytics for that single data set instead of creating the multiple one. I have to perform a join between the two data sets. Now how to perform a join? That's how the recipe comes in picture. So let's go back here. For the recipe, if you click on this one, the star right at the top, you could see a data manager. You have to click on the data manager, and it will take some time to load. Yeah, data manager is coming in, and in the second option you could see data flows and recipes. So if you click on it, it will there are two tabs, data flows and recipes. Let's click on this one, data set recipes. You can click on this button and create the recipe. So let's start with this recipe part as well. Let's click on this one, create recipe. Now it says that select the base data set for your recipe. Okay, so now what we are going to do in this recipe, we are going to combine the multiple data set. But what would be my base data set? I have to find out, and I have to figure it out, that what is my base data set. So in this case, we would be going to take the opportunity data set that we have created as a base data set, because we have variety of information and the majority of the information inside this data set only. We have created the data set by combining the multiple objects as well inside this data set only. So let's take this one as a base one, and we have to specify the name. So opportunities with SIC description. I can click. As soon as I click on continue, it basically showcases me few of the fields from my base dataset. So these are the fields that you could see over here are fields from the base dataset. Not every field is visible in this preview mode. If you want to change those fields, you can click on this icon and change this. You can remove any one of them or add any one of them. So it's all up to you. So you could see the data. That is a preview of the data. Now this is already your base data set. Now you have to combine this data set with another one. So if you could see, you could see a add data button over here. You just need to click over here, and now I'm going to select my SIC descriptions. So remember, we have created a data set with a CSV file. I'm going to combine that CSV file data set with my base data set. So I have to, sorry, that is a DTC opportunity. I have clicked the wrong one. I'm really sorry. Yeah, so I have to click add data one more time, and I have to click on this one, SIC descriptions. Yeah. So on the left hand side, you could see the origin data set, the base data set, and the right hand side, you could see the lookup data set, the data set which I am going to combine with my origin data set. So by default, you could see the Einstein Analytics have identified the column through which you can make the grouping or the combine. So by default, it identifies that, okay, we have the SIC numbers over there in the base data set, and we have the SIC code here as well. So why can't we combine both these two data set on the basis of this field? And yes, our target was also the same. We have to combine both the data set with the SIC number only. So whenever you're going to combine the data set to data set, make sure you specify such field in which we do not have any null values or the blank values. If it is a blank value, the data set creation will certainly fail because it won't be able to look up into the different data set properly. So make sure it should be non-blank. We have certain things over here. So let's click on continue. If I click on continue, it basically asks for the lookup data set, which I am going to, and which field lookup data set. So which fields do I need to look up on the lookup data set? So we do have 3 fields in the lookup data set: code, description, and last updated. This field is automatically going over there because this ultimately both of these fields would be going to create a grouping. But it says that if you want to associate any more fields, so I can check both of them, and I can, so you could see the 2 fields selected for the lookup, and I click on continue again. So now as soon as I click on continue, it will do the lookup, or it will do the combination behind the scene. It will combine both these 2 data sets on the basis of SIC code field, and it will eventually create one more data set, and the data set name would be that we have provided earlier. So I'm not going to click on the continue because again it will create a data set, plus again it will start refreshing the data set one more time, which will eventually take some time. So let's go back, and once we have the data set created, so inside the data manager, data flows and recipe, you could see that a recipe created over here, opportunities with SIC description, right? So this is the new recipe that you have created, right? And this same recipe basically creates as in a form of data set as well. So if I go back to the platform, the main home page, and inside the data set screen, if you see, you have one more data set created, opportunity with SIC description. So this data set is nothing but the recipe that we have created. Okay. So this is the power of recipe. You got to know that how to combine the 2 data sets, and with the help of recipe you could do the same. Now the next is that data flow. So here we talk about the data flow as and how to run and schedule it. So just to give a brief idea that what is data flow. So you have created variety of data sets. You have created a data set from the Salesforce system, Salesforce objects, and you can create data set from the external world as well, right? Now what do you want? You want to refresh the data. You want the live data, and you want the recent data inside your data sets so that you can perform actions on it, and you can create different charts and dashboard out of it, right? How to refresh the data, how to get the latest information. For all these things, the Salesforce has created data flow. Whatever data sets you have created, it goes inside the data flow so that you can refresh that data flow. Instead of refreshing just one data set, you can refresh the entire data flow and get all the data sets refreshed at a time. So let's go back to the data manager itself, and data manager, here you could see the data flow. I have told you I will come back. So there is a default data set, default Salesforce data flow, which Salesforce Einstein Analytics platform has already provided, and I have created both of my data sets inside this data flow only. So if I click on this one, okay, if I click on this one, you could see that this is one of the data set I had created. Remember, initially we had created an opportunity data set, which is having a lookup with the account and the user, and you could see the data sets and all its augments over here. So this was the data set that we had created. You could see that one of the digest for the, this is the opportunity and this is the account, and with this augment feature we have merged, we have passed on the relationship that this opportunity is related with this account on the basis of this key account ID. So with these things you can create the data set, and you every data set you have created, you have it inside the data flow. Now where is my data set which I have created with the CSV file? So that data set will not come inside the data flow just because we have loaded the CSV file just once, right? So this is only for the all these data sets that needs to be refreshed. If you want to refresh the data set from the CSV file, you have to upload it again and again. But this is only for the Salesforce. If you have the Salesforce data set created, so it will create this kind of structure over here, and you can basically schedule the data set by just running the data flow or scheduling it. So here is an option to run the data flow. Once I click on this one, what will happen? This data flow will run in the background. It will take a few minutes to run, plus it will fetch all these accounts, opportunity, user information, and eventually it will combine all these things, and it will put the entire data inside this analytics platform. So I'm not going to click on this one because it will take some time. So you already know that how to run the data flow. Now let's come that how to schedule it. If you want to schedule it twice a day or one time in a day, sometimes in the midnight when your business is not at all working, you want to schedule it, right? So that whatever the data you have in your system, all the recent data, all the recent changes that your Salesforce people have made in your Salesforce org, those data changes should come over to the data sets. So what you need to do, you have to click on here and you have to click on schedule. Once you click on schedule, it will give you the option that, okay, how do you want to schedule it, by hour, week or month? So you can say that for every week around somewhere around midnight, somewhere around 2 a.m. I want to schedule the data flow, and that would be my every day. And if you want the email notifications to be sent, you can send the email notification as well. So once you click on save, the data flow will be scheduled for every day 2 a.m. So this is how it will work. It will what will happen once you have scheduled data flow at night 2 a.m. it will run, and it will basically fetch the fresh data, the fresh values from the Salesforce itself. Now let's talk next about the lenses. How can you create the lens? So let's go back to the platform. Here is the lens. We have to create a lens. So first of all, in order to create a lens, you should know about your data set. So we have already created a data set called opportunity with SIC description. I have to click on this one, and this is the lens that we are going to create. So on this lens, I'm going to take the sum of opportunity amount. Yeah, I'm taking this one, and I'm showcasing this one with, I'm grouping it with the close date. So close date, first I'm grouping it with year, and then I'm grouping it by month, right? And if so you could see the bar graphs are coming in basically, but you can change these graphs over here. We have a number of graphs, so let's showcase the timelines. Okay, lines will come here. Oops, let's do this one. Yeah, now it will come properly. Somehow it came in the line. So I have, in the x-axis I have provided the year and month, and in the y-axis I have provided the sum of amount. You could see these values here. You can do different sort of formatting as well just by clicking on this format options. And in the line chart, If you want a single axis, you could select that one. If you want to showcase the points over here, you could see the points are coming. If you want to see the data, so you could see the compact number, you could see the millions are coming over here, right? So this is how you can create a lens, and you can save this lens like of with close date. I can save this lens. So just by clicking on save, it will eventually save the lens, right? So what I have done in the lens is have I have figured out one of my data set. I have queried the data set for these fields, and I have grouped it for this field, and I have grouped it with the close date, year, and month. If you want to see, if you are a coding guy, and if you want to see that what is going behind the scene, you can click on this one, and you could see the how the SQL is running. So you could see the SQL is running behind the scene. It is first loading this particular data set, and it is grouping it with a year and a month, and it's generating all these things, the sum of amount. So this is how you could create the lenses. Now let's jump to the dashboard. How can we create the dashboard? So I won't take much time. I will simply go back to my Analytics Studio. I will click on this one, and I will click on the dashboard. I will just use the basic template, the continue one. I will put the dashboard name, that op and account information. I'm going to just put one of the graph feature over here, and drag down the graph, and I am to first of all I have to select a data set. So let's select this data set, whatever we have created, the same thing, sum of amount, and the bars is the close date with the year. I have to create the line, and in the axis itself, the close date with the month, and again I'm going to add some sort of pointers. Yeah, these values, show points, and close. So we have this one of the chart created already. Now let's create one more chart. This time I'm going to this time I'm also going to use the same data set. It has already picked up the data set, and now I'm going to sum of amount let's remove this one, and this time I will do the grouping with the stage name. Stage we have Rebellious Orchestra stage, and this time I will use some other charts. Let's take the donut one. I'm done. So I have it listed. Now let's go ahead with the filtering. So you could see the list filter over here. I can use this list filter. I can do the drop down, and I want to do the filtering on the base of account industry. I have selected this one. I created this one. Let's take one more filter, and I want to filter this one on the basis of my close date. Oh, sorry. There is no close date over here. I believe the close date is not a part of this data set. So let's skip this one. Okay. I'm just adjusting these ones. Oh, sorry. and I have to save this data set, sorry, dashboard again in my GT sales, and it is saved. Okay, if I this one, this will this how Dataset will look like. You can create variety of themes, you can do the coloring as well, but this is how you can create it. It's very simple. You can do the filtering as well if you want to see the data that is on the basis of your industry. You can just click on this one, and data sets, these dashboards or the charts will be rendered accordingly. For the banking, if you want to see, you could see the data is getting changed over here, right? It's very simple to create the data dashboards. Now there's one more thing. I'm going to explain that how to create different pages in the dashboard, right? So this dashboard basically tells me about the opportunity, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rename this one as opportunity, apply. Now I'm going to create one more page inside it. So enter page name, I'm going to provide it as account. I have created one more account page, and in this page I am going to insert a normal table. In the table, what I'm doing, sum of amount, and I'm grouping by the industry, and I will click on this one. This is my table mode. I will click on the compare table. So this is how it will look like. For the agriculture, this is the amount. For April, this is the amount. I can do further grouping as well. Like we do have segment over here in the account. I can. Oh, why it's taking so much time? Oops. Yeah, got it. So it's done. I have clicked on done. You can basically do different spacing in this table as well. This is how I can do. And if I click on save, I can save this page. Okay, so you have two pages created, one for the opportunity and one for the account. Now how to switch between these two pages? So you can switch with the help of this link feature. So you have this link. I will create a link button just and will name it as, here I will name it as opportunity, and I will link this button with one of my page, which is my opportunity page. I will create one more link for, and I will name it as account, and I will link this with my account page. And for the account, what I am going to do, I'm going to add some different widget so that I could see that my account is get selected. Similarly, on the opportunity page as well, I'm going to create two more links, same links, the opportunity, and I'm going to use this opportunity page, and I'm giving a widget style as well so that it is clear and visible that I have selected the opportunity, and one more link for the account, the page, account, this one, and I clicked on save. Okay, so this is how it will look like. We have currently we're in the opportunity page, so you could see the details. As soon as I click on account, you will be switched to the account page. We have the fields, the opportunity account. You can do the toggle. So within the same data dashboards, I have basically combine the two different pages, right? Now the last topic is how to embed that dashboard inside a standard page. So let's say we have already created this dashboard. I want to embed this dashboard inside my VF page or inside my Salesforce standard page. Okay, so you could see what is common. What is common thing over here? We have account. We are looking all these opportunities, right? We are looking the amount on opportunities. We are also looking amount on opportunities. So if I want to see the opportunity information under my account standard page, how would I do that? So for that, what I can do, let's open one of the account. This is the account. If you click on the edit page, you get an option. So this is basically on the Lightning experience only. If you click on this side, you will go to this edit page. Here it will give you the option to select a wave dashboard or the analytic dashboard. So if you go to the bottom in the components, you could see the wave dashboard. Oh, it's still loading. It's taking some time to load. Yeah. So I can simply, what I can do, I can simply drag down this wave dashboard at the top. Okay, so it will give me the option that which data dashboard do I need to put inside this one. So I have this one, opportunity and account information, the recent one that we have created. I can provide the proper height as well. Let's give it 500. And here is the main thing. We have to provide the filter. So whatever the ID or account ID we have in this entire page or in the URL itself, I have to pass that ID inside the filter so that my dashboard should render as per this account only. So for this, you have to give this particular filter, this particular option. This is how the structure will look like. You have to pass on a JSON, the data, you have to pass on the first data set, then fields, then the operator, then the values. So this is how you need to pass. You have to create a particular JSON. For easy and for the convenience, I have already created a JSON, which would be this one. You could see the data set that I have used is this one, and the field that I am going to use is account ID, because I have to pass this account ID from the URL itself, plus what I am doing, like, I am matching with this account ID, and the value that I am passing is the $ID. $ID, what it will do, it will just take the ID you have in the URL and will pass this to the account ID. So let's use this one, and if I, so this should render automatically on the basis of account. Yes, it does. If I click on save and if I activate this one, it will say make it org default. Yes, it will. Let's make the org default. It's already there. Okay, it's already there. It's already there before. So let's go back and see if you could see. Yeah. So this, my dashboard is getting rendered for this particular account only. So if you see the main dashboard, this is provided, this is giving you the information for the entire accounts that we have in our org, right? But here in the basic in the page, this dashboard is getting rendered as per this account only for this one. So for this particular account, this is my timeline and this is my different opportunity amounts on the basis of stage name. Here you can also switch to account, opportunity, and both of them is getting rendered accordingly. So that's it. That's all we have around the dashboard, lenses, datasets, data flow, and everything. And for your reference, guys, I have already created a trail mix. I'm going to put some new things inside this trail mix as well. So once I get everything, but as of now, you can just refer to this trail mix and you can start exploring about the Analytics platform and you can learn more about it. And that's it. Thank you very much for joining the webinar, and I'm passing over the control to Doug.
Hey, thanks, Ishwar. So thanks, everyone, for providing your attention, and thanks, Ishwar, for walking us through that demonstration and kind of walking through the realities of setting it up. So if you're interested in a conversation about what you heard or saw today, our Salesforce group would be happy to discuss and get into your specific situation and guide you through some recommendations and best practices around this. And you can contact us through the information displayed on screen. And with that, we're going to get into our Q&A session. And just a quick reminder that everything you saw today was recorded and is being uploaded to our YouTube channel. So you can check back at our YouTube channel. All of our webinars are recorded and posted there for reference. So with that, it looks like we've had a few questions trickling in. Looks like one of our first questions is asking about embedding the dashboards. Looks like Naveen was asking if we can embed these dashboards in other platforms outside of Salesforce or potentially a custom page. Ishwar, would you be able to speak to that?
Yes, absolutely good. So thank you for asking that questions. I have already explained you that how can we embed the existing dashboard inside the standard page, and I have told you that how can we pass on the filters as well. So using the same filters, you can also put this entire dashboard inside your custom page as well. Like if you have created a Visualforce page, you can do the same. Visualforce do have a tag called wave::dashboard. You can use that tag and you can put your dashboard inside your Visualforce page as well.
Okay, great. Looks like so we had another question come in from Ramik, and Ramik wanted to know which users have access to accounts and with the Analytics platform be able to access such dashboards, if they can access such dashboards within the object. Would you be able to speak to that, Ishwar?
Right. So that's a good one. So basically, Einstein, like reports, we have that only the person is having access to the accounts, reports will be rendered accordingly. The same fashion, the Einstein Analytics is also built in, and it also renders the account for which they have access to. So what you need to do, there's a feature in the while creating a data set, there's a feature called security predicate. You have to specify the correct security predicate, whether you want on the role basis and on what, if you want it on the OWD basis or the role basis, on what basis you want the sharing to be maintained and the accessibility to be maintained. If you specify that, it will work accordingly. So there is a feature called security predicate. You can go ahead and explore more about it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ishwar. And it looks like we had another question from Tom. Are you able to make transformations within the dashboard? And I think he's referring to calculations, conduct calculations.
Yes. We conduct calculations. Yes, you can. So we can do the same. There are a variety of ways to do that. First, if I can tell you, you can do the calculation inside the table itself. So let's say you have this table. You can perform calculations inside this table itself. You can do it. So what you need to do, you just need to clone this column, and if you click on edit this column, you could see there's the formulas and the different functions. So you can perform variety of these different functions, and these functions will calculate all the values and put this inside a new column. So this is how you can perform the calculation. So this is a feature of the compare table. And if you talk about the transformation, you can do the transformation here inside the data flow as well. So in the data flow also, we have the compute expression feature. You can use this compute expression feature to compute the values inside the fields and compute the expressions. So like a formula field we have inside the normal Salesforce. Plus, there's one more way to do the transformation, that is in the recipe itself. So if you have already created a recipe, in the recipe as well, it also provides some of the functions so that you can do certain transformations, like if you're using the strings, and if you have anything called a string, then what you can do, you can simply do the substring, split, substring, lowercase, uppercase, these kind of transformations you can do. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Ishwar. Looks like we have one more. It's from Iola or Aeolia. Can you combine existing lenses into a new dashboard? You be able to speak to that?
Yes, absolutely, we could do that. So once we have the lenses in place, so you could see so if we have the lenses, we have the steps created over there for each and every lens. So what you can do, you can just drag down these steps inside the dashboard, and it will be. So let's say I have already created a lens for the stage name. I have already created a lens. I can use the same in this dashboard. So what I can do, I can simply drag it down, and yes, it works. So this is already a lens that is created for the opportunity amount on the basis of the stage name of stage of the opportunity, and I have used the same lens inside my dashboard itself. So just drag down feature will work since we have this step in place. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ishwar. And it looks like, so I think we have time for one more question here. It looks like there's before I get to that next one, it looks like there's a part 2 coming in from Ramik. And he wants to know if we can have snapshots for all of the dashboards.
Okay, yes, absolutely, we can. So, okay, so I have this dashboard. If I click on there, so there's here you can share it. If I click on share, this is a snapshot you could see. So you can go ahead and download this particular snapshot. You can click on this link, download as image, and the image will be downloaded for this particular dashboard. So this is plus other than snapshot, you can post it to the chatter feed, give access to other people as well in your organization. This is how you can do. And one more thing, if you have the table, so let's say I have the table this one, so I can download the data for this table as well. So what I do, if you have created a table, I just need to click on this one in the share. I can go ahead and download this data. Yeah, so you could see the download as the Excel format or CSV format. If I click on this one, the table data would be downloaded in a CSV or in the Excel format. Thank you.
Ishwar, I think he's referring specifically to historic snapshots or history trends of all dashboards. Would you be able to speak to that at all?
Yeah. So history dashboards will come only with the reports. So if you have created the report, so and if you have the Einstein Analytics license, then on every report you could see a trend button. So if you have created a report, you could see a trend button over there. You have to click on that trend button, and it will ask the frequency that daily you want to create a snapshot for the report or not. So you can just put that schedule over there, and what will it will do? It will create a trend dashboard inside the Einstein Analytics platform, and it will refresh that report daily or the frequency that you have provided. So daily it will run the trend dashboard. It will take a snapshot of all the report data and inside the Einstein Analytics platform.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ishwar. So we are coming up, we're at 11 o'clock on the hour Pacific, so we're going to wrap up now. So once again, everybody that joined, if you wanted to refer back to anything that you saw and wanted to revisit for reference, we'll be posting this entire recording to OSI's YouTube channel. And as always, if you have any questions that pop up later, feel free to email us or give us a call. We'd be happy to chat with you about your specific situation. So once again, everybody, thanks for joining, and our marketing team will be in touch with more topics and subjects that we come up with. Thanks again. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.